Welcome, Vandana ji. Thank you for joining. So what I'll do, I'll start in alphabetical order with this panel, and I'll straight away go to Alpana ji to bring her perspective when we think about access and working with a rare disease where therapies were not available, parents are struggling. I just want to hear that what role parents and patient groups have played and could play going forward in this space. So over to you, Alpana ji.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Very good evening to one and all. And I would like to thank Prabhat, sir, and Professor Chitilkar, and all the members who have been, for the opportunity, wonderful opportunity to include the voice of rare condition or a rare disease in this panel, esteemed panel. I'm Alpana Sharma, co-founder and director, patient advocacy from Cure SMA Foundation of India. So we are a parent-led NGO, and my son also has SMA. So my journey with SMA or spinal muscular atrophy started with diagnosis of my son. He is now 9 year old, and the initial period were dark, and we all, I believe all the cancer survivors, warrior will agree to this, that none of us were prepared to start the journey or the challenging journey that we are into. So I was thankful in terms that my family was very supportive. And I happened to visit Cure SMA US, where we saw some of the wonderful work that they were doing. So our route is from there, coming back to India. We started this Cure SMA with a very small Facebook page with 5 families. And today we have grown up to be more than 700 plus families. And I am extremely grateful to Prabhat sir, because he has been a mentor, guru, guide, and we met him at opportune time when we needed the guidance, because there was treatment but it was not available in India. And as a parent, as a caregiver, it's so very frustrating to know that there's a life-saving treatment but our children cannot avail it. More than treatment, awareness was lacking and is still lacking for rare disease, because rare disease affects a very minuscule population. So very few people come out and speak, and genetic condition have a stigma attached to them, but still there we are trying to create as much awareness as possible. So through Cure SMA India, what we are trying to do is we have created a platform where all the stakeholders, the external stakeholder as well as internal stakeholder, can come together. Our external stakeholder is the government, the pharmaceuticals, the insurance companies, and most importantly, the HCPs. And our internal stakeholder, the most crucial ones, are the patients, parents, caregiver living with spinal muscular atrophy. So we strongly believe that when all the stakeholders will come together on a platform, the solution will come. And in terms of treatment access, we have worked very closely with the pharmaceuticals, especially with Roche, and we have been instrumental, and partial success has been there in terms of getting the launch of Risdiplam, one of the drugs in India. The treatment is very expensive. Affordability is still an issue, but the fight is on, and we are very hopeful that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. There are two, I would say, strategic two wins or partial wins that we have been able to achieve through strategic partnership. One of them was the amendment in draft rule of Drug and Cosmetic Act of our country. We have had multiple meetings, the multi-stakeholder meetings with DGCIA. Dr. Somani happens to be a wonderful person and a humanitarian who understood, empathized with our cause. And when the pharmaceutical companies like Roche, Novartis, Biogen, with our constant 4 years of advocacy, led them to have some kind of compassionate use program in India, these drugs, they were willing to give it to a handful of children. However, there was a lot of hurdles in terms of India doesn't had as such in the Drug and Cosmetic Act, there was nothing that could safeguard the interest of HCPs, doctors who were willing to give the drug to India. These drugs were not FDA approved. They were not approved by Indian FDA, that is DGCIA. So there are many multiple meetings, representations, and in one of the circular, they have mentioned in the government circular that representation from Cure SMA India has been instrumental in changing and inclusion of the word compassionate use program in that draft rule. The second one is recent GST waiver. We have been constantly writing to health ministry, to finance ministry. And I'm very thankful to Saksham. There was a lot of program. I'm sure many of the attendees might have heard or are part of Saksham program, which is a brainchild of Prabhat sir. And it was there that we learned about the policy level advocacy, and we started writing, and we are still training many of our city coordinators, state coordinators who happen to be caregiver themselves of the sick children, are meeting the ministers of their state health finance department and writing to them. So the recent GST waiver in life-saving drug for SMA is another such example. So that was all from my side. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It is an amazing learning opportunity for me as well to hear from you all.
Thank you, Alpana ji. But I think with GST waiver, this particular example gives such a strong message that where up to what level a patient group can reach. And for last 6 months, I think this particular group had sleepless night. They had gone from, they have written to every MP in this country. Their parents have started meeting at different level. And when you see the result, still it's a work in progress. But I think a very solid step they have taken in this journey. Now, after hearing from Alpana ji, and I'm sure, please feel free to reach to her also after this discussion.